Oh my God, why is childcare so expensive in the UK? Like you're running from work to childcare, pick up your child from school, back to the house. Next day, you do this. I'm a good mom. And I know I'm a good mom. I don't need anybody to validate that for me. No, I'm not going to cry on the internet today. Modern motherhood is not what they showed us growing up. Honestly, this version of motherhood as an immigrant mom in the UK, nobody prepared me for it. And I'm sure so many women and mothers out there can relate because every day feels like survival. It feels like you're literally fighting for your life every day. And that's not the version of motherhood that, trends online. It's not the matching pajamas. It's not the fun trips. It's not the glamour of motherhood. So let's talk about that part that we don't see online often, that part that nobody talks about, but we all face every day. Let's talk about it. So go grab yourself a cup of tea, sit down, and let's talk. Right. The first thing I want to talk about is the mental load that comes from being a mom. Honestly, every time I feel like there are at least 50 tabs open in my brain. You know, the way you have open tabs on your laptop, that's what I feel in my head. You're thinking of school, you're thinking of homework, you're thinking of what to feed them for dinner, you're thinking of laundry, you're thinking of doctor's appointments, you're thinking of your job. And as an immigrant, you have that worry about your visa at the back of your mind, especially if you've not gotten your indefinite leave to remain. You have also worry about finances because, to be honest, having kids is not cheap. And these are all the things you're thinking about. And for most families, the woman is the primary caregiver. So you have these tabs open in your mind, in your brain constantly. It's like when I'm trying to rest, I'm still planning. Because when you sit down and say, okay, I'll take a moment for myself, you remember, oh, you've not done the laundry, you've not replied to the school email, you've not booked that dentist appointment, you need to fill out that form, you need to do this and that. And this is what some of us go through every day. I go through it, and I know I'm not the only one out there. Like the mental load can be so exhausting. Sometimes it's not the physical exhaustion, it's just the mental load, the number of things that you need to do, the number of things that is still undone, and it just gets to you at some point. And as an immigrant mom, there's also that component of navigating a new system. Some of us, the education system we grew up with is very different from the one in the UK. So now we have kids in school. Some of the things the schools are communicating to us, we don't even understand. We don't understand key stage, this one. We don't understand P, this one. We're expected to do things we don't know how to do. And we're literally learning on the job. And nobody talks about how difficult that can be at times. Like even the health system, the no booking GP appointments. I'm Nigerian and I grew up in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you just walk into the hospital. They accept walk-in. When you want to see a doctor, you just walk in and you see a doctor. But here, you have to wait by the phone till 8 a.m. to book an appointment. The way the pharmacy operates is different. The way the dentistry operates is very different from what we see in Nigeria. And you're learning this new system while navigating it with a full-time job, your kids, your family, and everything in between. The mental load is off the charts. And honestly, sometimes I sit down and I'm trying to shut down those tabs, just have a moment where I'm not thinking of anything, but it feels impossible. And if anyone out there has figured out a way to just close those tabs and just take a moment, let me know because that is one thing I'm really struggling with. And if you can relate to the mental load and having so many tabs open in your brain, just drop me a comment. Tell me how you manage it. Tell me how you take a moment for yourself, a moment where you're not doing anything or planning anything. Because I feel for me, if I'm not doing something, I'm planning to do something. And my mind is always busy. And it's just so much. It's a lot. It's really a lot. Second thing no one prepared you for as an immigrant that is navigating modern motherhood is the loneliness. Being a mom, especially being an immigrant mom, being so far away from your family, being so far away from friends you grew up with, being so far away from, people is very lonely. Honestly, we're not even going to pretend that we are okay. It is very lonely. There are times I miss my family so much that I cry. There are times I miss my friends so much that it's painful. It's so lonely. And because you're navigating motherhood in a space where you don't have that family support, you are always doing everything by yourself, and you barely have time to make new friends. You barely have time to socialize. You barely have time to do anything nice for yourself. It's like you're running from work to childcare, pick up your child from school, back to the house. Next day, you do the same thing. And it's just so hard to find a moment where you're doing an adult social activity. And that makes it feel so lonely. It feels really, really lonely. Being an immigrant mom, you're literally building your village. You know, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, as an immigrant mom, you are building your village from scratch. And that's a lonely process, and it's a difficult process. This aspect really hits me because 3 years ago I moved to a new city. I used to live in Edinburgh, but now I live in the northern part of Scotland. I had friends in Edinburgh. I've built my own little village, having lived like 3 years in Edinburgh, to leave all that to move up to northern Scotland for a job. And honestly, it's not been the easiest thing in the world because now I'm having to build my village from scratch. I've managed to make a few friends and they've been very helpful, but it's just making friends in adulthood is just exhausting. And the times when you've not quite built your family, it can get very lonely. Next thing I want to talk about is this one is the big one. Both the citizens and us as immigrants, everyone is complaining about this one, is the cost of childcare. Oh my god, why is childcare so expensive in the UK? Like, for some people, their childcare cost is greater than their mortgage cost. Like, it's crazy. No matter the city you live in, and I talked about this a few days ago on TikTok, people were commenting from different cities. Everybody was complaining of the same thing. The cost of childcare is something nobody prepares you from. Is and it's not just the cost in terms of money, it's also the cost in terms of, as moms, we do feel this guilt. You want to spend so much time with your kid, but you still have to work, especially those of us that our visa depends on our job. You have to work. And for some of us, even when your visa does not depend on your job, you have to work to make money. So you're worrying about the financial cost of childcare, you're battling the mom guilt, and also your career. Some people have taken, career break, or some women have refused a promotion because of childcare. They want to fit in their lives and their careers around childcare. And all these things are things you have to consider, and it just makes motherhood that much difficult. Currently, I pay about 250 for my son's breakfast and after school club. He does 5 mornings and 3 afternoons, and just an hour a day, and he's paying 250. So let me know in the comment section what's your childcare arrangements and how much you're paying. And the 250 I pay a month does not include the odd days when I need a childminder, for the days I'm working late or the days I have an evening appointment. I have to pay like £12 per hour for that arrangement. I mentioned before about the village and building from the scratch. I've had times when I have also had friends step in for me to pick him up from school or to stay with him on the days I couldn't get a childminder. So shout out to my little village here. Next thing I want to talk about is the lack of family support. And this ties into the loneliness I talked about. But growing up, especially for someone like me, I grew up in a large family, right? Our extended family were very close. Almost every week is either we had an uncle and his family or an aunt and their family coming to visit us. So travel to go see them. There was always family around. Like, if my mom wanted to travel, she didn't travel often, but the times she traveled, she had someone, a family member, come to our house to stay with us, aunties, cousins. Like, you're never alone. that you're never in want of that family support. For the family I grew up in, there's always people around you. If you need to go do something as a woman, you can easily drop your child with a family member. We had family members, their kids will come to our house, our cousins will play together. But here in the UK, being an immigrant mom and having your family so far away, we don't have that. Sometimes it really pains me because I feel my son is growing up in isolation. He doesn't have that family around us. We do have friends, but I compare it with my childhood and it's not the same. No grandparents popping in, no aunties stopping by on Sundays. You're not going to auntie's house, during Christmas to go and eat rice. I remember my childhood, during Christmas when we go for Christmas holiday, we can go for the whole week of Christmas and New Year without eating food made by my mom. We'll just be going from one house to another and we'll just be having fun and enjoying ourselves. And that is something that kids, our kids as immigrants here and navigating modern motherhood, they are missing out on. And it makes me sad, honestly. I try to, like I said, build my little village and interact with them. I have an uncle who lives in this country and we try to visit them during Christmas, but it's not quite the same with what I grew up with. And yeah, it's just what you have to deal with, not having that family support around you and navigating motherhood without your extended family, without your mom, your sisters, your cousins, those people that will really jump in to help you when you need it. Now you're a mom, they're not there. Is Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, it's a bummer, and it's something that thinking about it's like I don't want to cry because thinking about how much I miss my family. Yeah, sometimes I cry, and no, I'm not going to cry on the internet today. If you're an immigrant, let me know the last time you visited your home country. I've been here for 8 years now, and I've not been back to Nigeria. I'm hoping to be back in a few years. Oh, yeah, I miss everybody. I miss them so much. Who? Okay, we are not doing that. We're not doing that today. Yeah, let me drink my tea, and that will come. Let me drink my tea, and that will calm me down. Next one I want to talk about is the constant guilt and worry. I'm sure this is something women are familiar with, mothers are familiar with. Is either you're damned if you do and you're damned if you do not. You stay at home mom, you worry that you're missing out on career and business prospects. You're a career mom, you're feeling guilty that someone else is raising your child. And this is, I mean, even on the internet, you will hear a lot of school of thoughts and opinions about this. There's no perfect answer. That's the truth. As we have to come to a point where we accept that in this era of modern motherhood, there is no one size fits all. Just do what works for you. Just do what works for you. If you decide to be a stay at home mom, you're going to feel guilty for maybe not being ambitious enough. People are going to make you feel bad for not being, I don't know, feminist enough. It's always crazy when I hear people say that. And if you decide to go to work, they'll make you feel bad that, oh, you're not taking care of your children. You're not supposed to send a young kid to the nursery, blah, blah, blah. So just do what works for you. And that's what I do. I'm a good mom, and I know I'm a good mom. I don't need anybody to validate that for me. And this is what I say to myself every day. I am doing the best I can for my child, and my child is thriving. And that's all that matters. As long as your child is safe and happy and doing well, that is really, really all that matters. It is not all doom and gloom. I don't want this to feel like um just highlighting all the many things that are wrong with modern motherhood. Motherhood is a gift. Motherhood has changed my life in so many ways. Motherhood has changed who I am. It has made me stronger. It has made me more resilient. It has given me a drive that I never knew, a strength I never knew was in me. Motherhood has helped me pull it out. And is a privilege, and is I enjoy being a mom. I enjoy spending time with my son. I enjoy doing things with him. It can be tough, but it is not all doom and gloom. So even if your own journey of motherhood doesn't look like what you see online or what is trending online, that's okay. Your journey is beautiful because it is yours. And if you're in the trenches of motherhood where you're fighting for your life every day, you're on survival mode every day, like me, like, oh my God, I'm just trying to keep my head above water here. That's okay. You're not in survival mode because you're doing something wrong. You're in survival mode because you're doing this without a village. You know, your support system is not here. The support you grew up with is been you've moved to a place where you're building your village from the scratch. And remember, you've not done this before. Motherhood is one of those jobs you learn on the job. There's no manual for this. There's no rule book for this. So we're just learning as we go. So be gracious to yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. You are doing well. When you look at your kids, they are safe, they're happy, they're thriving. They look at you, they want to cuddle with you. My son is in this phase of life where he wants to spend every night in my bed, even though he has his own room, but no, he will leave it and come to my bed. It's because I'm his safe space. And it's a privilege to be that for him. So even if our life is not Instagram perfect, it's not social media glitz and glamour, that's okay. We are navigating, I am navigating, we are all navigating this modern motherhood. And it's not easy. Yeah, nothing prepares you for it, but we're here and we're making it happen. We are strong women and we're doing it. We are doing the damn thing. You're building while raising, you're tired, but you're still trying. You're not weak. You're carrying what most people cannot see. And that's what counts. That's really what counts. And at the end of the day, we are going to raise well rounded, wholesome kids. And we'll be grateful that we took on all the stress, all the guilt, and all the financial pressure to give them the best life we can afford. So keep doing what you're doing and keep being kind and gentle to yourself. If this video resonated with you, I want you to give it a thumbs up. I make videos like this on this channel, so you might want to subscribe so you can see more videos from me, and turn on that little bell button, the notification bell, so you'll be notified each time I post a video. Thank you for watching my little rant about modern motherhood. I hope it helped you. I hope it resonated with you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.